Hey guys, welcome back to Wealth with Lo. Today we have Leonard Green on here with us. He's a good friend of mine that we've met in Gator, and it is a pleasure that he's given me some time today to just kind of pick his brain. And we're looking forward to being able to share with you guys all that he's doing, anything that we can possibly assist him with. And he out of everybody in this group, he is the person that is, I mean, just top tier as far as going out and looking to help people and bringing things back to help everyone he can that's in his circle. So it's a pleasure to have you on today, Leonard.
Thank you for inviting me. I feel so honored and I appreciate this. I'm excited. Anytime I get a chance to help other people, I'm gonna be there for them as best I can. But especially you, you have been so integral in helping me move forward as well. So I'm happy to be here. That's why you see this
Awesome.
like it's gonna
Yeah.
be a constant grin the whole
Yeah.
time. Thank
I
you.
feel like that's our Sunday ritual, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Or better yet, let's start with your background, right? How did you find the Gator community? What led you up to this point where you were ready to just start, finding ways to make your money work for itself and
Okay.
give us a little bit of background?
My background is actually in IT. I've been in IT for 32 years. I am a geek to the heart. I love it. Most people come home, pop on the TV. I come home and I'm playing with code, trying to figure out how to automate something because I want to make life a little bit easier. Uh, but I was working for the Federal Reserve Bank, Kansas City here, and I've been there for the last 10 years. Got laid off, and I started thinking about, okay, do I want to go back into the workforce or do I want to look at some other opportunities? And as many people, you're popping through TikToks and different videos in the evening, and I see something about real estate and this pace and some gator stuff. So I start watching the videos, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm already doing this, and I can make a business out of it. And what I'm saying is, there are people who, in various corporate positions, have 401ks, and you can take out loans against those 401. Some folks had taken out 401k or loans against their 401ks at my job, and I guess they had the maximum amount, so they can't. I guess they'd been paying on them for a few years, and it got to a point where they were down to probably about $2,000. But if they had that paid off, they could go back and get another loan for 20 or 30,000. So I said, hey, for $500, I'll give you the 2K, and you can go ahead and do what you need to do. And it was the exact same thing that Pace was talking about with Gator, and I'm like, well, if I can make a business out of it, that's great. So that I joined, and as a result, just like any other business, there's some people out here that are less than stellar when it comes to choices and how they carry themselves. So I knew that my part of how I was going to build this business was going to be a little bit different. So I got involved, went through all of the videos, and just started meeting people. And as you know, you were one of the first people I met. You and a few other people, as a matter of fact, that are part of our group. And I knew that I was going to do things a little bit different. I'm focusing on relationships and helping people and not just transactional deal because
Mhm.
I'm looking for long term. I believe in my friends, I believe in my people that are close to me, and I'll do whatever I can to protect that and build that. And so that's what I do. And as a result, it's been actually less than a year, and the group went from I think three of us, and I think we have about 15 now. And
Yeah.
in the last few months, I think we've closed anywhere from eight, I know at least eight, to about 12 deals for various people in the group. And to see the growth and the diversity within the group, just not, I mean, you got age, you got race, you got gender, you have some of
Different
everything,
backgrounds. Yeah.
background. And it has been so amazing because I think I get a high off of seeing other people succeed. And I mean, you're a perfect example of that. And it's just like, I've seen you go from starting out and just kind of running in circles to now you're just doing some of everything. You're like the OG in the group making things happen. And we're like, oh, where's Lauren? So I love it. And I know I went around the block to get to it, but like I said, started out in IT, and this allowed me to move into a new area and do things that I truly like, which are and love helping other people. So
Yeah, yeah, and your passion really shows through in that group. So my biggest reason for wanting to bring you on here was to just share how amazing you've been, and just kind of share the collaboration versus competition mentality that you've had. So that has really played a big role in drawing me closer to the community because I myself, that was what drew me into Gator was it was, God-based, relationship-based. Of course, we all want to make money, but at the end of the day, if that's all that you're here for, you don't get very much out of it.
Exactly.
And it just takes it to a completely different level. So seeing how your passion has taken, like you said, the group, the way it started was I'll never forget. We were sitting on that first Zoom call and I was walking around my kitchen in my house in Maryland and we're just talking about all the things and we really hit it off. And then, like you said, I've been in 9 months now. So it's crazy to think back to that because when it first started, I don't know how you feel, but I kind of felt slow. I was like, okay, things feel like they really aren't picking up. What's going on? I
Right.
got a little discouraged. Um, and then it became the snowball effect. You put the group together and you continue to make relationships, and then all of a sudden you've got people like Roman and Keegan and all the friends that you've essentially brought to the group that come to us now and go, hey, we really enjoyed working with you guys. We want to do it again. And it just becomes this really cool thing where you're making friends that live across the country and they're not just doing real estate. We've talked about on the group, like, hey, let's talk about what you do outside of real estate. How can we work together, not just in this realm, but so share your shea butter and the stuff that you do with that.
Oh my goodness. You put me on the spot here because I'm used to doing that the other way. So I don't know because just like you said, I truly believe that as we grow, you give opportunities to other networks that you don't normally have. You have a network of people that you have access to in total different areas, but can benefit from everything that we do, whether it's the real estate, whether it be the fitness, my shea butter. I'm one of those people. You talk about what is the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
I have to pare myself down, so I laugh now because I'm doing real good. I'm down to only three focuses. I have I have three things that keep me occupied business wise. One, definitely the real estate and the group. And that's fun. It's like I look for that rejuvenation every Sunday because I look forward to seeing everyone and hearing what's going on. I mean, your travels alone help spur the group for us to look and say, hey, we want to just go hang out with Lauren and wherever she is right now because you
Yeah.
always have those great backgrounds when you're on the call. It's amazing. With my shea butter, when COVID hit, well, here, let me back up one step. One of the things that I did to kind of keep myself going and entertained and for exercise and just relaxation, peace of mind, I go to estate sales and auctions. And that was fun to me because the ones I go to are like these $1 million homes, 6,000 square foot, 1.5 million or 6.5 million. I went to this one place, they had a whole entire floor dedicated to wine and wine serving, like one of those old knights tables with 20 chairs. I'm like, who needs 20 chairs at a table in a house? Long story short, that's what I did to entertain myself and keep myself going. But I was also able to make some money at it because I'd buy things that I normally wouldn't spend money on, but could find a good profit in it. Well, when COVID hit, all of that dried up because I couldn't get out. There were no estate sales to go to, and I
Right.
was actually making anywhere between 700 and about 1,500 a month just doing that. So I used that to pay for my trips to Cancun, and the twins and I like to eat, so paid for that as well. But once that dried up, I started thinking, oh man, I need to find something that I can do that doesn't require me necessarily to get out. And I started messing around with shea butter because I wanted to put natural products on me instead of, some of these chemicals just
Mm-hmm.
break out
All the
easy.
synthetic junk that we have
Exactly.
nowadays. Yep.
And a buddy of mine told me, he said, if you whip it and put some oils in it, it'll expand and you can actually sell it and, you know, different scents from lavender to peppermint. And I said, oh, great, I'll try it and see what happens. And as I started making it, people in my inner circle were like, hey, well, can you make me this? Can you do this? It's like, sure. and some of them start paying me for it.
Yep.
And then my daughter, she has eczema, and she said, "Well, Dad, do you have anything for that? Because it'd be nice if I had some." So I said, "Well, here, let me see." And my kitchen looks like a mad scientist. I have oils and I don't know how many mixers and stuff all over the place. But I ended up doing some research, made some for her, and she goes, "Dad, this works better than the prescription."
Wow.
I thought she was just gassing me. I really did.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
whatever. I know you're my daughter. You're just saying. She's like, "No, really, it helps." So I decided to make it into a business, and it's been growing ever since. And I think I did. I sent you some products,
You
so
did.
hopefully
Yeah,
you
that
enjoyed it.
CBD stuff was great. If anybody's looking for CBD shea butter, Leonard is your guy.
See, now I will tell you this, because as much as I would like to, I haven't got to the CBD, but it was the muscle relief,
Or muscle relief. Okay,
right?
sorry.
And it had the Canfo and everything else, but it does work because I'm not the young spry chicken I used to
Yeah.
be. So doing these bike rides that I do, I put it on before and I put it on after, and it helps me prep and recover, and I'm able to actually do afterwards. And that's what the last thing was. I said I had three, so it's the shade, the real estate, and then I still go to the estate sales, and so that's
Okay.
my business thing, and I enjoyed it. I have a lot of fun. Matter of fact, just sold another set of $1,500 speakers, so I'm like, woohoo!
That's awesome. Congrats.
And then last night, one of my other things that I do, and it's close to my heart, this is my 19th year on my school board in the city that I live in. So we had our meeting last night.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It went a little bit late, but we're doing things to take care of the community and the kids. So I'm able to tie everything that I do. I'm having the time of my life, if you can't tell right now. And it is just, I'm bouncing off the walls. This is awesome. So,
Well, and it's so awesome to see because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like everybody that's come into this community that has really put in the work, right? Because you do get some people, unfortunately, that come in to this community or another community and they just kind of want everything handed to them and they don't
yeah.
put the work in. And then, of course, it's not gonna, you're not gonna reap the benefits. But everybody that I've seen that comes into this group and really takes the, building relationships seriously, their businesses take off.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Um,
we have Josh, Jess, Carol. I mean, people have come in and taken advantage of what we're doing in terms of the relationship and the collaboration. And as a result, I think Josh, if I remember, I don't want to put his business say out there, but I know a good chunk of what he's done has come through the group and
yeah,
collaboration.
yep.
And I
And
think
same
that,
same for me because I've a lot of my deals have been through Roman,
yep,
which you brought Roman to the group. So yeah, it's just it's one of those things where I think when your mentality changes, you start looking at, the cup half full and you're meeting new people. My favorite saying is your network is your net worth.
yes,
So even though the things that you're talking about are outside of real estate and they're outside of the group, I think that this group has a really cool way of influencing the rest of your life, just because it changes your outlook.
it is absolutely amazing the collaboration that goes on. And I think one of the things that I truly enjoy is kind of leaning back onto my IT times, and that is seeing the members of the group step up in different arenas and different areas and the growth that they're doing. And I'm going to say, for example, Jess. Jess just got started a few months ago. She's already scouting homes, doing
Hmm.
underwriting, networking, partnering,
Oh,
and
she's a
she's
hustler.
She's a hustler. She's about her business, and
Yep.
she's more than willing and has helped other people in the group. She's an organizer, and we can all pull from the different things people bring to the table.
Yep.
And I'm gonna kind of put you on the spot too. I think back to a connection that I had through Gator, and come to find out you had the same type of tie with the other gentleman down in Dallas. And I mean, come on, how many people have that type of business and to come into the same arena in real estate and then be able to come together? And it's just like there's a hand on this business.
Oh
There
yeah,
is.
I've had so many moments where I just kind of like look up and I'm like,
Right.
you're getting a good laugh out of this, aren't you? Like, thank you, but there's just some things where I'm like, that was too easy, or it just. there's a lot, like you said, there is a hand on this business, and the people in this community that are, the mass majority of the people in this community are genuine.
Yes.
And it's just really cool to see that when people of that nature come together, mountains get moved, and things that 9 months ago I thought were impossible. I didn't even know what creative finance was 9 months ago. I
And
didn't
you're
know
never.
who Pace Morby was. I didn't know anything. I knew that I wanted to be in real estate, and I had, bought and sold some real estate and done some rentals, but it wasn't anything close to the extent that we're doing now. And again, it goes back to just having those connections and the knowledge to pursue more and know better, right? And I think we get kind of pushed
We learn.
into, go to your job, you go to your 9 to 5, come home, pay your bills, and you get lucky if you retire with a decent retirement.
That is absolute. Oh my goodness, you get so many things running through my head right now. I'm just kind of like bouncing off the walls, thinking about just the collaboration. There are a couple other people, and I think the group we met with a young man out of Detroit just recently. He's doing a lot of good business, and I think we're going to have a great relationship, ongoing relationship with him
Mm-hmm.
because I think I talk to him almost every day because we have some side projects that we're working on. But I think about that, and then the gentleman that owns the title company that came in and talking to him because he has big plans. He's already doing big things, and we're tied into him as well. So I'm just kind of bouncing off the walls because Pace challenged me to help at least 10 people get their first deal. And after he interviewed me and said that, I'm thinking, just 10? My goal
I
was
was
at
going to
least
say, I'm pretty
25.
sure you've done that. Have you not?
Uh, as far as first deal, I think I did 10, like, because he
Because
interviewed me in January.
you helped me get my first deal.
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty sure you played a role, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to do a roll call on
we'll do a
Sunday
roll call.
because I'd be curious to know, but I know there's quite a few people in our group that you played a role in us getting our first deals.
Well, I'm shooting for 25 before the end of the year is out.
That is awesome. I love it.
I look at again, I keep coming back to the group because I look at how people are able to kind of sync together. And I'm not naive to think that everybody's going to click, but when there's a level of respect, transparency, and that collaboration, and then you add that last part, which is the hardest one for most people, and that's that mindset, that abundant mindset. People think, oh, if I don't take this deal, I'm not going to get another one. It's like, come on, people, back up, back up, back up. Look at what's out here.
Hmm.
While we're having this conversation, there's a deal happening right now.
Oh yeah. Well, for instance, right? So this is something where me and Carol, I love Carol to death because there was a deal. I think it was something that Jess brought to the group. And Jess probably could have funded it by herself, or myself. There were multiple people in the group that could have funded it just themselves and done the deal, but instead it was brought to the group and gone, hey, why don't we kind of share the wealth a little bit? And I think Jess took, a couple grand, I took a couple grand, Carol took a couple grand. Um, so again, we're all working together to go, you know what, like the long game is more what
Yes.
we're looking for. We're not looking to make a home run on one deal and, mine, 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 mine. It's more about like, hey, let's share this. We get to learn because I know like Carol, me and Jess laugh at all the time because every time Carol comes into a deal with us, she'll share something else that she just learned because she plays that connector role too. So
Yes.
she'll give us a new tip on, making sure that like the foreclosure statement is in the promissory note that after 30 days late on the payment, we can foreclose on the property. So that was something that we weren't doing up until probably 2 months ago. But again, it was something where we were just like, hey, we'll all do this together. And then we all get the input, we all underwrite the deal together. So it's really cool to be able to, you know, I could have done the deal by myself, Carol could have done the deal by herself. But to come together and just kind of brainstorm and throw stuff off of each other and learn every deal, we all learn something new every deal.
It is absolutely amazing. That's what I said. I'm so busy trying to bring opportunities. Like, oh man, I can't wait till I can actually sit in the entire process. because I get bits and pieces and I talk to just about everybody. I think I have more fun kind of talking offline to everyone almost as much as I do on Sundays. Usually on Sundays, it's just kind of like a finally
Yeah.
got the agenda out, the links out to everybody, trying to make sure everything's good. My biggest fear is that I forget someone.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget anyone because it's like, what? I'm no longer part of the group. It's like, no, that was,
Right.
after a while,
Whoops.
yeah, oops.
Is there a way to automate it? I feel like
That's
you
what
could
I'm
do
working
a,
on.
yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I feel like there's got to be a way where you could do like a reoccurring meeting to where it'll, if you have all of our emails in there, it'll automatically just send the invite out and you won't have to do that. Because little things like that, I think, like as you start to scale, those are the things that you need to automate and cut out of your to-do so you can focus
Yes.
on bigger things.
Well, you know me, Mr. Automation King. That's the other thing. I'm actually taking that tool that I built and using it for my well-being. The emails, I'm pretty sure I can do that with my Python and get that set up. That's not the biggest one. The biggest one is maintaining the group list information, access to the Google Drive, and making sure I have all that. So I'm actually putting together all of the specs so I can write this code that once we get someone added to the group, it maintains all that for me. It'll,
Okay.
put the proper person in their place in the Excel sheet. It'll add it to the Google Drive. So little by little, I'm getting there. But in between all of the, all my other priorities, I'm actually getting that and building. We have our form for the group, so that way when people want to come to us for funding, they don't have to talk to 15 different people. They can make the presentation, and then the group will get back. And that's the other thing I love about the collaboration. I mean, think about this. You're someone who's looking to get funding, and maybe not through the traditional means, but you're looking for it. Here's a way you can complete this form, whether it's EMD and again, programming. If you choose EMD, you're going to get one set of questions. If you
Mm-hmm.
choose other funding, it'll give you another set of questions. But now you do it one time. You upload pictures, documentation, one time, and it goes to this entire group. And more than likely, you're going to get some response back in a short period of time. I think you were part of this. In the last, 60 days, we had like three different opportunities come to us, and I think most of them were handled within the first 15 minutes of them
Mm-hmm.
arriving to us. And I thought that was amazing because the people that came to me said, "It's already handled. You guys are amazing." I'm like, "Yes, I love these people.
Yep.
These are my group. These are my people. This is awesome."
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool because I think I was actually on a flight when that happened, and I remember getting off the flight and just getting pinged with like already done.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they, everybody in the group is an action taker. And I think that that's really what's going to, aside from being relationship based and not transaction based, is just being an action taker and not, not saying that you're going to do all these things and then letting fear get in the way or whatever it may be. But everybody in the group is like ready to go to work and make things happen to get deals done. So that's awesome. You've put a
Well,
great group of people together.
when we have OGs like you, I don't think I appreciate you being humble, and that's a wonderful thing. But I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. When you say you're gonna do something, one, you do it. Two, you bring back value to the group just by your presence and input. And from the deals that you've been a part of, even beforehand, you were able to bring folks together just because of the information, the personality, everything. You bring so much to the group. And then we also have in common Zoe. I cannot talk enough good about Zoe Guzman.
That man is awesome.
Man, he has mentored me from almost day one. And I don't know any other business out here where somebody will take the time. He's come in and spoken to the group,
Hmm.
but no one that will take that type of time and interest in people that they don't know or don't have anything vested in, and not charge you, not look for
Yeah.
anything in
Yeah.
return.
All he's looking to do is help the people around him.
And I love that, and I'm trying to pay it forward. I've always lived my life to pay it forward, but this is just another level, and I love it. So I wanted to say to you, thank you. I appreciate you because we don't talk as much as we used to in terms of to the side because we're all over the place.
Right.
I want to formally and publicly acknowledge how much I appreciate you and what you do, and in addition to all of the real estate and the things that we do. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I appreciate that, Leonard. That was really sweet of you. And honestly, I brag about you to everybody because again, you brought me my first deal. I don't know if you knew that or not. I don't know. I felt like I told you that because it was that first EMD that I had funded. Um, but it was just like from there, it became the snowball effect. Um, and getting that fear out of the way of doing that first deal because even though it was, I think it was 5 grand, 5 grand in the grand scheme of things isn't that much. But if I would have lost that 5 grand, I would have been tore up over
Right.
it. So, I was like losing sleep, even though we had all the right like paperwork in place and we had TCs, I still was like losing sleep. I am not a gambling woman. You will never catch me at the casino. I don't care how wealthy I become. It's just not my thing. So I was losing sleep over that deal. And then when it came back, I was like, oh, I kind of like this. Like, seeing that wire come into my bank account is pretty cool.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so yeah, I really appreciate everything that you've done, and you have very much mimicked what Zoe has done in the sense that you have just openly been very giving of not only yourself, but all the information, the contacts that you meet. And it's really, I know I can speak for the group. It's been life-changing for all of us because you've brought us some amazing people and deals that have pushed us to the next level. And I have no doubt that it will continue to do so.
That's my goal, and I'm gonna keep pushing. I have a couple things in the works, and if they all work out, the next couple weeks are going to be like, wow. But
Okay.
it's like chasing that. It's, I've never been deep sea fishing for like marlin or anything. I think the biggest fish I've ever caught was probably about 8 pounds, which was work. But this is
Yeah.
what I feel like right now out here because I got a couple things going, and I can't tell you what they are just yet. But if it works out, these next few weeks are going to be amazing, and I'll make sure to let you know ahead of time. Like, you really don't want to miss this one or be late. You don't want to.
You might want to move your flight, Lauren.
Yep,
I
you might
know.
want to make sure they land on time. Tell that
Yes.
pilot you have something important to get.
I have a meeting.
Right. But I'll definitely let you know, and I'm looking, like I say, I'm looking forward to some big opportunities. Not only people coming in to speak, but some serious opportunities that are coming in.
That's amazing. And like I said, it doesn't surprise me just because it's you. Like you come when you brought Roman to the group, Roman's been a huge lead flow for a lot of us in the group. So you're always bringing things where it's not just like again, it's not a transactional thing. These are people that want the same thing. You're attracting people and deals that are in turn exactly what we're looking to do. We're looking to create those relationships where we can work with people 10 years from now and it
Right.
not just kind of be a one and done thing. Thanks for my money, call you next time. But I'd love to hear more. So you don't have to go into what that is, but I'd love to hear more about, like, let's say you've been in about 9 months, right? I know we were
Yes.
right about the same time frame. What's your next 9 months look like ideally? Like in your head, where are you headed? What does that look like?
Okay. It's interesting you say that because I had to make a slight pivot. God works in mysterious ways because no matter how much we lay plans out, sometimes He just says, "Well, that was a nice
Hmm.
thought, but this is what's going to
This
happen."
is my plan. Yeah.
Right. So initially, my goal was to focus in on EMD and double closings. So I kind of turned things around, said, okay, how do I figure this out? What do I need to do? So I'm doing research, I'm grabbing notes, talked to Nathan. Nathan said, oh, the guy is absolutely amazing. Got some information from him, like, okay, Leonard, this is what we're going to do. Focus in, learn about this, make it work, and just do that, and then build the group. Well, from spending time with the group and hearing and seeing so many different things, what has been coming to me without really pushing are different PML deals back in my hometown in Detroit, and it's been teaching me about underwriting, actually how to look at the properties and see what's going on, And then just actually building the group has been beneficial through the connections that I made. So what is presenting to me is working on those small PMLs over the next 6, 9, 12 months, building an actual inventory portfolio of equity in different rental properties, and then focusing on bringing more opportunities into the group, because that is what has led to this other option. And I'm just like, okay, well, if I get to do some double closes in EMD, great. But if this is what's coming to me, I'm going to make it work for me. And the relationship that I'm building with the developers and some of the investors in Detroit has been beneficial because it's opened other doors for me. I've actually met two cash buyers, and it's just like, okay, and I remember Pace saying, if you can build a list of cash buyers, you're going to make yourself that much more valuable to people in your network. And my first thought was, hey, this is great for the group. If I can, see, I'm already giving some of it away. If I can bring some of these cash buyers in to share with us what they're looking for, now you have a whole new set of
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, because they're looking for, hey, while we're out here, people bringing us deals, it may fit that cash buyer's mode
Right.
or buy box. Well, now you have, 12, 15 bird dogs out there, building their own business, but may make that connection, and that's going to build that long-term connection. So my focus is working on those small PM deals, continue to connect to investors, and build the group. So that's going to be it for the next foreseeable future until, some other enlightenment comes down. So Leonard, this is what we're going to have you do
Yeah,
now.
right.
I'm
I was
learning
gonna,
to listen better.
yep, me too. It's a work in progress because I'm pretty hard-headed. So I'll have something set in my head and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. And then God keeps telling me like, no, that's not it.
Maybe that's why we get along so well, because I'm in
Yeah.
the same boat. You see all these little knots here? That's from banging my head on the wall going, the wall isn't going to move, Leonard.
Yeah, he's like, you have to make a right turn. Yeah. So your small PML deals, what does that look like? Like, what are you looking for? If someone sees this video, and they are, let's say they're doing a buy and hold and they need a PML. What would be your lend box per se?
Okay, I'm gonna make a slight, I guess, adjustment to that, because if something like that came along, more than likely I'm going to bring it to the group first.
Okay.
Secondly, I've moved into a more of a niche, and the reason I say that, with the people I'm working with in Detroit, they're investors, they're builders, contractors, some of them doing their own thing. So this gentleman I'm working with in particular, what I've been able to do is get my line of credit through, right now, Lowe's, and I'm looking for Menards. So by working with people who are doing their own work, the way that I'm able to provide service for them is that they need supplies, they need access to those um, resources that Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot can provide, but they may not necessarily have access to. So what this allows me to do is work in that niche and get equity in the renting, because the young man and his crew, what they do, they've gotten it down almost to a science where they can take a house almost down to the studs,
Oh,
turn it
is this the
around.
gentleman we had in the group like 2 weeks
Yes.
ago? Okay, yeah.
So working with him, and he can turn a property around in about 2, maybe 3 months.
Yeah, he's doing some great
Um,
things.
with the actual supplies, because he provides most of the work and everything else. So what that's going to allow us to do, he has other people that does the same thing. So by getting into this niche, the small PMLs, where he's like, okay, I just need supplies or I just need this. So I have a line of credit through the provider of supplies, and a small line of credit available for any other things that he may need. So as we
Okay.
build that up, it's going to open me up to other investors, other contractors that are doing some of the similar work. Just like I was in IT for 32 years, I know other people in IT. This is what he does. He knows he can't handle every job, so he passes stuff on to other people. They're going to need help as well. So I'm trying to build that
Absolutely.
pipeline now, so that, hey guys, here's another opportunity for the group. If you have available credit through X, because it doesn't necessarily have to be Lowe's, as long as you have a line of credit and get
Right.
supplies, it'll work. I've chosen a niche because that's what was available to me, so I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and again, so it's I was on a call yesterday with Aaron Lambert. He's in sub two. And that's the cool thing about this community is it does change your brain because you start to look at things that maybe, a couple months ago you would have looked at it and go, "Oh, I can't do that."
Exactly.
Instead, you look at it like, how can I make that work, right? Maybe I've never done it before, but there's got to be a way to leverage it to, build that connection, that relationship, and, essentially not turn the deal away. So, yeah, I think that's awesome that you're doing that. Now, how are you secured? So if he's using your credit, your line of credit to purchase materials, or is he still securing you on that property that he's okay?
He already has a couple properties, so what he said he's willing to do, which worked for me, is put up one of the other properties as collateral
Ah,
for
okay.
any deals that we do. So
Okay.
since he
That's
already
probably even a better option is putting you on a property that's already completed
Yep.
because then the equity's already there.
Either that, or since he's on each property he's getting $1,200, I think $1,200, $1,300 a month rent. So he said either equity or cash payments. So I'm
Okay.
not coming out of my pocket for anything. He's paying for the deal, and I'm just providing the credit and the longevity so that he can go ahead and knock these projects out. He really didn't need it, but he's limited to, you don't have an infinite source of money per
Right.
se. So this allows him to free up his money to go, instead of doing now just 2 homes a year, he can probably do up to 5 or 6 now.
That's
So that's what
awesome.
we're building towards and making it happen. And then it'll allow me to build that portfolio of saying, okay, I don't have to have a 50% stake in every property. But if I build up a 10% stake in multiple properties, hey, I will take, 10% of 100,000
Right.
over 1% of, 20,000 any day.
Right. Well, and especially when you're on the lending side and you're not having to do, the fix and flip and the brunt of the work.
Exactly.
That's a good way to build it up. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yes, yes, yes. And you mentioned something a couple times. One of the things we brought to the group is here in Kansas City. I tied to the KC Power Hour. It's a group called Ballpoint PS,
Hmm.
um, Property Services. They're a great group of young people, and they're making things happen. And they had a big event on Saturday where the young lady came in. Her name is Christina Aguilera, not the singer.
I loved her
And
growing up.
it's like what Pace says about mindset, and she was talking about the same thing. And the thing that clicks with me every time you even mention it today about, in many cases, we are our own bottleneck. There are so many things that we can do and have and see, but we're the block. We think it's something else, but it's no, it's how we're thinking about it. And something as simple as, like I said, that abundance mindset. You can go in and say, because I've heard this recently, people, oh, everybody's getting in the gator, it's saturated. Really?
Right.
It's like, come on. Do you know how many people we have in this country? Do you know how many homes there are in this country? And how many people are really willing to get out here and put forth the effort? Even in our group, like you said, people who come in, put forth the effort, are really about collaboration and work together. There's plenty out here. We are our own biggest bottleneck. And
Yeah.
as soon as that mindset just changes a little, it makes all the difference in the world. I've always been an entrepreneur. I shoveled snow, cut grass, sold seeds, door to door selling. Hey, you need some tomato plant,
Right.
everything. And still today, and it's still a mindset shift for me because you got to go from thinking small business to business. And that is huge. That shift right there, because as long as you keep saying small business, you're going to be a small
Small
business.
business. Yep. Yep.
No, you're a business owner. You're making things happen. This is just temporary.
Yep.
And like
You
I
have to
said,
speak it into existence. And I think the more that you say, like you get a lot of people that I want to be X, I want to do this. And it's like, then not that that's a terrible way of saying things, but it's like, no, 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 no. You need to say, I am this, right? I am a private money lender. I am a buy and hold, real estate investor. I am this. Because what happens is when you start talking to people, and you're not lying, right? You don't, I'm not saying to lie, but when you talk to people and you're like, well, I want to do this. Well, I know when somebody comes to me and they say that, I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, so you haven't put in any work yet. So I'm still like, okay, are you in that thing where it seems really cool and you see the people and the money that they're making and you see all the fun things on social media and that's why you want to be it, but you really haven't done any of the work yet. And are you really going to get over that hump and put in the work to do it? Because that's where a lot of people fizzle out is like everybody, like I could talk to a million people. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, being a private money lender sounds great." Like, sign me up. I can get double digit returns. That's awesome. But how many people are actually going to, in the beginning, I was working 6 jobs, but I was staying up late and making sure I was putting in, even if it was a minimal hour a day, I was still doing something to make sure that I was getting better by the next day. But a
Yes.
lot of people won't do that. They'll just say forever that like, oh, I want to do this, or oh, I joined Gator and I haven't really done the deal yet. And it's like, well, how long have you been in? Well, I've been in like 6 months. And it's like, I don't want to down put anybody, but if you've been in 6 months and you haven't done a deal, more than likely you're the person in your way. And it's not that you haven't gotten a deal to fund, whether it be fear, action taking, there's different things that come into play.
Yes.
But yeah,
Love it.
yeah,
That's why I
that,
said I appreciate you and the group because you do what you say you're going to do. And no one's naive enough to think that they're going to make the right decision every time. But it's like, I heard this analogy and I use it all the time. And that is, if you ever get into a car and try steering, turning the steering wheel when you're not moving, just sitting there on the street,
it's
it is
hard.
hard. I mean, power steering or not, it is
Yep,
hard. But if you get that car moving just a little bit, making those turns are a whole lot easier. So
yep.
yeah, you're gonna make some mistakes. It happens. But do something. I just had this conversation literally this morning with someone who has all of the desire, the energy, potential. I mean, they have potential. I was like, okay, just pick something
Do
and
it.
do it.
Yeah, you
That's
just
it.
have to do it. Yep.
And I know that sounds crazy because you get on various podcasts, you hear on the radio, you hear tapes, books, everything. Just do it. No,
Yep.
it is literally
I was
that
just gonna say
simple.
that.
Don't care what you just do something because you can correct it a lot easier when you're moving.
When I've
And
almost found a lot of people, not that podcasts and YouTube and, all this content that Pace puts out and everybody else that's, doing big things. But for me, I found that sometimes it can actually be a little distracting and discouraging,
it
um,
can be.
because you get that, and you have to be in the right mind space, but I can't take in but so much content. Sometimes I have to go, okay, like I need to, maybe I'm not as knowledgeable about X or Y or Z. So I'll go and I'll learn and I'll, find content that Pace put out about that specific subject, but then I kind of get off and instead of going down this tunnel or rabbit hole, because then you're like, well, man, he's got this and he's got that,
Yeah.
and it kind of it seems so far fetched that it almost puts you in this place where you're like, well, I'm he started years ago and I'm here, and
Right.
it just kind of messes with your brain a little bit. So I think that anybody that's watching this that wants to be a gator or a PML or a wholesaler, whatever it is, even if it has nothing to do with real estate, my suggestion would be to sure take in some podcasts, take in some content, but figure out what your first action item is and stop watching those podcasts and YouTube channels and whatever where you're going down this rabbit hole. Stop watching so many of them. Like, watch one. More than likely, what Pace says is going to be pretty similar to maybe what somebody else in the Gator community said. Not saying don't ever watch those videos, but watch a video, get the idea, and go do it.
Yep, it's a huge difference. And again, people in business who are serious about it will understand this. There's a difference between being busy and being
Mm-hmm.
productive.
Yep.
And what a lot of people do, and I know I did for a while. Oh, I'm watching my training. Oh, I'm doing what I need to
Mm-hmm.
do. I'm watching my training. Okay, you can watch all you want, but until you put it into action, it's not going to make much of a difference.
Yeah.
So you definitely hit the nail on the head, and that's why I say let's make it real simple. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have tons of experience. Sometimes you just need that ideal. You figure out what it is and do it, and you're going to learn more from doing whatever it is, right or wrong, than you will sitting there watching multiple. Just do it, and you're
Yep.
going to learn what not to do.
Right.
And
Right.
make sure you surround yourself with people who can assist you, but still, you're going to learn quicker
Yep.
and really to the point. Oh my God, I don't want to ever do that again.
Right.
Or you may hit a home run and go, oh, that was great.
Right. Let's
Okay,
do it
now I'll
again.
do the next one.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I love it.
And so another thing I was gonna say too is like, team up with people. Like,
Yes.
Leonard's made this group of people where we've all been in it for a couple months now, and I think Carol, I think, has probably been in it the longest out of all of us, right? As far as the Gator
It
community.
was you, Carol, and myself. We were the initial
Okay.
three. So, yes.
Um, so I think Carol was in a little bit before I was. So we've only been in 9 months. I mean, it's not that like to look back a year ago, I would have never guessed that I'd be in Gator. I would have never guessed that I'd be in Owners Club. I would have never guessed that I was, doing creative finance and found a way to, to buy property without any of my own money. So it's just, you just got to get out there and do it, but pair up with people. Find people that have the knowledge, find people that have the experience. And when you find good people like Leonard, they are more than happy to do that because it's not about, what money you're bringing to the deal. It's more about just being able to help other people. And it really is, what is Pace calls it the helper's high, I believe, where it's like
Yeah.
when you see somebody else and you get to assist them in getting a deal done, especially when it's the first deal, because it really is like that. They get that high from like, oh my God, I just did my first deal. When you get to be a part of that, it is better than getting your own deal. And I mean that with every ounce of my body. Like it is crazy. It's a crazy
It's awesome.
feeling.
Like I said, I get thrilled. I get a high off of that because seeing the people in the group thrive, seeing things happen, because I know the growth that comes from it. And I also know that, again, you have networks that I don't have, and knowing that that's going to continue because if I'm able to help others, they can help others who will
Hmm.
help others. I mean, you're just building, and in society, the way things are happening, we need as much good as we can. And I mean, I paying it forward by helping others. I don't think there's any way you can lose.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, you really can't. And then Pace actually said something at one of the last owners club event in Arizona where he was like, "What good are your friends if you can't, call on them for help?" So it's a really cool dynamic, right? Because you're not transactional. There's never going to be a time where, Leonard, if you call me and you need something, I would be upset if you were like, I didn't want to ask Lauren for help. Like, how dare you? Like, you better ask me. If I can help you in any way ever, I don't care what it is, you better call me. So it's a really cool dynamic because it's not, you don't feel like you're being a burden by, like, hey, do you have this contact or can I get your opinion on this or can you underwrite this, whatever it may be. Having those friends where they can also bring you value is really cool because it's not a bad thing to ask for help. Like that, I think that's been a really big takeaway for me is like before I would always be like, oh, I feel like I'm being a burden. I don't want to be the person that's always like picking somebody's brain. But when you find ways to bring value to those people, when you do need to pick somebody's brain, they're like eager to help and it's this really cool dynamic that happens.
That's what happens when you have respect, love, trust. and that's what we're building the community around. And then you know that you have those people you can count on. So I'm with you there. I appreciate it. I know I can be a bit much at times, especially during the meetings, because
Oh no, you
you
keep it fun.
you guys are my family. So I protect those around me fiercely. I mean, something is something, because I've had people ask, well, can I get a list of the members? I'm like, first of all, just in general, I don't give out anyone's number information unless they allow me to. Second, why do you want it? Because
Right,
this is our community. So now you're messing with family now, whereas we used
right.
to say back in the day for the you messing with the church's money now. So you better come correct.
Yep, absolutely.
And I will continue to protect us like that because this is very important to me.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I know. I was speaking for the group. We appreciate that. We really do. So, is there
awesome.
anything before we end today? Is there anything that you are looking for in particular that if somebody, whether they be in Gator, Sub 2, Owners Club, if they see this, where can they bring you value? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for more people with that mindset of helping, collaboration, coming together, because we're always looking to expand, but we know it's not going to be for everyone. So for me personally, I'm looking for more people that fit into that arena of helping and assisting others. And you can reach me via my email, which is lgreen05 at yahoo.com, or call me directly at 816-210-7858, and we can talk. We have people that visit our group all the time. Some come, some stay, some come, some leave.
Yep.
It is what it is, and we're always happy to see. But um, looking for people, the business will come. I mean, if you're looking for opportunities, bring them to the group. You can again reach out to me. You can reach out to Lauren, and we will share. And our goal is to help take care of our client to the best of our abilities, and that we build a long-term relationship. And that's what we're looking for, and that's what I'm looking for. I thank you for this opportunity too. This has been absolutely awesome. And if I can do anything ever to help in the future, to reach out and let me know.
Thank you, Leonard. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all that you've done for me in the past 9 months and bringing the group together, keeping us on our toes, and giving us all the info that you you give us. It's really cool to see how that dynamic has all played out, and you've played like mother to the group, but it's in such a fun way. I know we all love it, and we appreciate all that you do because you put a lot of time and effort into us. So that's I can't even think
Happy to
of. I'm like racking my brain on our year anniversary. What am I gonna do to repay you? So we got to plan a trip to Jamaica, our business
Woo.
trip or something. Yep. So we'll do a 1 year anniversary Zoom at some point. We'll be in Jamaica or something with a drink in hand.
That sounds good to me.
Well, thanks guys for joining us today. You will find this on YouTube and then some shorts uploaded on Instagram and Facebook. I will make sure to link Leonard's contact info. And if we can help you guys in any way, whether it be wholesaling deals, PML, Gator, definitely reach out and let us know.
Awesome.